Hello and welcome to How to Play Stealing Bundles, a game for 3 to 4 players. This game comes to us from Paget.com under their fishing section. It is probably the most basic fishing game, which therefore means it's intended for children, but it's really a general audience's game. Children and adults could play this together, or a bunch of adults could play this together ultra competitively. And I found this video. It didn't really explain how to play the game, but it showed them playing it. And this is ideally what our card game meetup would look like if we ever managed to get one going, which hopefully sometime in the future somebody will have a meetup and it'll be a fun time like this. But basically, to determine the dealer, we're all going to cut the deck, and whoever has the highest ranked card will be the first dealer. For whatever reason in this game, the first deal involves dealing 4 cards to each player in consecutive order, and then dealing 4 cards face up to the table to form the tableau. Cards from the tableau can be captured by players. They must be put face up in front of them. And then other players, if they can match that card rank, can then take that bundle, otherwise known as the entire premise of the game of stealing bundles. And that's pretty much how this game works. If you have that card rank in your hand, you can steal it. You can add it to your bundle. And the player with the largest bundle is pretty much going to be the winner if you decide to play this on one round. If you decide to make it a little bit more competitive, a little bit longer lasting, you can play multiple rounds where you score 1 point for each card in hand, and then at the end of a particular set of number of rounds, or the first player to get to this particular score will be the winner. And of course, each round the deal will then transfer from the player of the dealer's left to the player on the dealer's left. So if West deals first, the next round will be dealt by North, followed by East, followed by South, and so on and so forth. Pretty simple concept. You either match a card in hand of the card on the tableau or the face-up card on a player's pile, and you capture that pile. So it's a very important thing to remember what cards have come through the first run around, the first deal, and if you can pretty much remember that, you know which cards can or can't be captured. You just never know what your opponents have in hand, so anytime your bundle could be stolen. Now, in subsequent deals, if you do see repeated ranks in the face-up tableau, go ahead and remove them and reshuffle the deck and just go from there. So we're seeing players steal each other's bundles. If you don't have a card that can be matched on the tableau, like all fishing games, you just leave it on the table to form a much greater tableau. And there's no other types of fishing in this game other than matching ranks exclusively. So there's no power cards, there's no value cards, nothing like that. So we just go from there and see how players do. And now we count and see who has how many points. Record them, and the deal will go to the player on the dealer's left, and we will continue a new round. If we're going by a set number of rounds or a specific score, we'll continue play until we reach that. And that's pretty much stealing bundles. As always, the first deal involves 4 consecutive cards to each player face down, followed by 4 cards face up to the tableau. And it's a pretty simple concept. You can either steal somebody else's bundle, or you can fish a card out on the tableau with a card in hand if it matches that exact rank. And other than that, I think it's a pretty good game to play at family get-togethers, at large parties. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to explain, which is what makes it perfect for children. Children don't have a whole lot of time to learn advanced card games and can't remember all the rules. They need very simplistic rules so that they can understand games and be able to get into them with ease, especially when they don't have a whole lot of time to spend with the other kids they're playing card games with. And each subsequent deal, of course, is going to be 4 cards, one at a time to each player. Why that's a thing, I don't know. It just is. and that's just the unusual quirk of this game. Sometimes card games will do that. Sometimes card games will have unusual deals. Maybe they want you to deal 3 cards to each player, then followed by 2 cards to form a 5-card hand. There's all kinds of games like that out there with that specific instruction, and why it's that way, who knows. But that's what happens, and when the round is over, we go ahead and count our bundles and see who has the most cards and record the score for each player. If you don't have a bundle, you've scored 0 points. And like always, if you actually want to play this card game in public against other people that you don't know, otherwise known as strangers, otherwise known as friends that you have yet to meet, come to our subreddit card game meetups and post what city you're in, what public place you'd like to play some cards at. Maybe some people would say, hey, I'd be willing to play this card game if you're willing to learn, or I'd be willing to play this card game if you're willing to teach. Do check out the link to our Discord server where we talk about card games all day, every day, and discuss dice games and dominoes there as well. Do call your friends, let them know that you're interested in playing some cards. Maybe they are too, maybe they're not, who knows, but if you don't call them, you'll never know. Also, do like, subscribe, and share these videos with people you know or should know or would like to know like playing card games. And do vote in this month's Game of the Month. I want to thank today's musician, and I'll see you next video.